Sup, everybody? It's your
Hello,
boys.
we're
It's the
here.
Riddle Boys, Aaron and Drew,
That's right.
here to talk to you about Dungeons and Dragons. We are the Paper Dungeon. This is Table Scraps, the show that we stream on Thursdays, about the show that we stream on Mondays at 7 p.m. CST, and also in this season on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. CST. I'm pretty excited to talk about both of them. Our Monday one is our long running one. Our Wednesday is a little special mini series that I DM every year called Between the Rows. We're currently on season 3. And we will cover what exactly is what's going on in this season in this kind of episode. Hello, Maz and Let's Not. I see that you two are in the chat. It is great to have you. I have my obligatory plugs. First off, social media, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. They're pumping. We'll have things out there. It's awesome. Second thing, Discord. Thanks, Maz. I totally forgot where I was going. We have a Discord, and if you're not in it, you're failing. I don't know what else to say.
Hate to tell you,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Like
you got an F right now.
we've got recipes, we've got places to talk about Dungeons and Dragons. We have just people who say good morning every day, and it's super nice of them to do that. Um, it's awesome in the Discord. Being there, our community is super sick. Um, we also have a website, www.thepaperdungeon.com, where on that website we have a merch store, and you can buy merch with our like logo on it and t-shirts and stuff. It's pretty cool. Speaking of merch, Lydia, the artist who not only plays on the show but has also done all of our overlays, all of our character art, except for the one in the background of Drew's screen, which the camera is just tilted down a little too far to see it. I can see it on mine, but they can't see it on the thing. But
Oh,
Lydia's art
yeah.
is fantastic, and you could buy art that she's already made in the form of t-shirts, shorter t-shirts, aka crop tops, and like pillows. Pillows. I think it's pillows. Pretty sure it's pillows. Or you could go on to her waitlist. She has a waitlist where you can order like custom art and stuff of your characters, and it's awesome. And you should do that because she's a very good artist, and it is worth your time and money. Speaking of money, if you want to support us, there's a lot of ways you can do that. Easiest way, tell your friends about us, show up on stream, watch our YouTube videos, check out our podcast, do all that stuff. If you want to go a bit more money aligned route of supporting us, we have a lot of ways for you to do that. We have a Streamlabs donation, and we have Ko-Fi. We also have a Patreon. In that Patreon, we are very slowly beginning to ramp up the actual worthwhileness of the Patreon. I've got a couple of ideas in my brain noggin that I can actually start working on myself. So I'm pretty excited about that. I finally have something that I can contribute. Um, and yeah, and it's a super super cool thing. DJ is going to be DMing a couple of duo shots for me and Grant and Lydia and Drew. And those will premiere and be seen early on the Patreon, and then we will release later those for subscribers on our Discord. So once again, join the Patreon for some cool stuff. If you don't want to do that, you are a subscriber, make sure you're on that Discord to get the additional content. All sorts of gym jams like that. Do the things. If you aren't any of those, we appreciate that you're being here. You know, you're the real ones that make the Paper Dungeon go round. You're there. You're killing
Yeah,
it.
for sure.
Now, to get to the actual meat of the content. First of all, we played a game Monday night.
That's
I
right.
thought it went pretty well.
I would agree. I think it
I
was
thought
very
it went
solid.
surprisingly well in terms of in-game action.
Yeah. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
agree. I
So
I we definitely did a lot more than I thought we
yeah,
would
100%,
do.
100%.
Because so as a general recap for those of you who watched it but
Go for
maybe
it.
don't remember all the things. So the party made the party consists, with Leshka, Edward, and Avanthy. We basically pick up with us getting back to Gambit's Keep, talk to Renaya, kind of let her know what we've been up to, ask her what she's been up to, what she's found out. We basically established that uh, putting that we need to first come up with a way to, kind of deal with the curse that Renai is under because of Lex right now.
Mm-hmm.
And Abernathy puts forward the idea of, well, let's go to Wisteria Vale. We can talk to the Archmage there, who we already need to talk to anyway, and he can probably help us.
Thanks to the
Um,
past episode of Table Scraps,
that's
um,
that's right.
I was able to just yeet our way through the first couple
just
of little problems
just
and go straight to the
go
source.
straight to it.
That's the
The
real reason I
simplest
run this
path
show.
to any destination is a straight line.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so, well, and oh, there's something else during that conversation. It was like Renaya found out something, but I don't remember. Like she was reading one of her books, but I don't remember what it was
Oh,
about.
she has a geology and like a bunch of old maps,
Oh yes,
as
that's
well
right.
as a kind of an account of the trial,
Hmm.
or the days after it, which Abenthy found very interesting because we may be able to cross-reference those maps of pre-trial with
Right,
the map that she already has,
right,
that we are unable to find the location of. We just know it's an old tomb or something along those lines.
right.
So
So that will potentially be very helpful for us.
yeah, and I didn't want to bring it up in the last episode because it had a lot of work to do. Also, it's not my paper, so if if Renaya wants to investigate it, or she's like, "Hey, Abenthy, did you look at this stuff?" Then I'm in. But that's look,
I'm sure
she's got her stuff.
it will probably come up next episode when we're kind of taking the time to examine all that we know, especially with
Mm-hmm.
Cather,
Oh
finding
man, we're gonna
Cather
have
and
to ask
stuff.
Casher. Oh my
Casher,
goodness,
good old Casher.
good old
Um,
Casher, that cash
but yeah,
money elf
so
boy.
but the party made our way to Wisteria Vale. We met Adelar Crave, the Archmage. Surprisingly, not what I expected personally from an Archmage. But still I still think a very interesting character, and clearly a lot of history there with that character. So I'm fascinated to see how much more of him we get to see.
I hope we never see
Um,
him again.
Never again,
Never. He
ever.
just never pops
Just
up.
yep, that's right. Just
Doesn't deserve
disappears.
it.
Um, but yeah, so he helps give Renaya a way to, for a week, suppress the curse with Lex, which gives the party enough time to then travel to Sigil via Adlar's help also, and they start making their way through the city of Sigil,
Mm-hmm.
and
And nothing
eventually,
goes wrong.
and nothing goes wrong. They manage to meet up with Cather after some communication between Cather and Renaya, meet up on a hill. Cather almost gets arrested, and then the whole party almost gets arrested. And then we made a daring escape, heist style, as we were booking it out of there, being chased by guards. An army
times.
of Modrons, Dudrons, Hexadons,
Oh my.
Drons, all of them. But through some clever play of the whole party, we're able to stave them off and escape before doing a little bit of light conversation and catching up before the episode ends. Which it's on, yeah, again, like it still kind of amazes me that we basically went to two, like we traveled to two different whole cities, like did activities in each of these cities and in a single episode.
Well, okay. I did not expect us to. I did not expect Cather to just be like, hey,
Just hanging out.
here I am in Sigil. What a city, you know? I expected there to be like a big search problem. Maybe you were like locked up and we had to. No, we could just like meet each other and then leave, which I did not expect. I expected us to be in Sigil for like at least 2 episodes. I expected us to meet up with like an Arc Fae or something while we were there, like some other group of people.
I think, well, and I think too, because I agree, because originally I thought the same thing, that Cather might be locked up, or we might not know where Cather is for sure, and it might be kind of hard to meet up, and like it would almost be kind of, they end up just meeting up by circumstance almost.
Yeah, like we're running away from the cops, and you're also running away from the cops, and we like. Have you seen the meme from Umbrella Academy, where like 5 is driving in a car, and then whatever their name is, the other one is driving a car, and they like look at each other as they drive past.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I expected to. Like,
Yep.
we're sprinting, and then, like, in slow motion, you're sprinting the other direction down a separate side street. And we, like,
Uh-huh.
make eye contact as we're running past an alleyway. That's what I expected.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah. And I think, honestly, I think that might have been closer to what DJ originally imagined.
and then we were
But
just like, screw that.
well, I think it was, things had evolved in unexpected ways, as they always do, right?
Gotta love it.
And uh, I think DJ recognized, and we talked about this a little bit afterwards, even. DJ recognized that, like, you know, we were ready to find Cather, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Like, we have accomplished the things without Cather that we should accomplish.
mhm.
Now we need to
Like,
do other things.
yeah, we've spent a whole 5 episodes doing things and just trying to find a way to find Cather. It's time to actually finally find Cather.
Mm-hmm.
Because even afterwards, a bit of a, well, not really. It's not really a spoiler because it didn't happen this way. But originally, actually, DJ floated the idea to me, and we kind of bounced it off with each other, like bounced it back and forth with each other, like, the idea that we would get to Sigil and Cather actually wasn't there anymore.
That would have sucked. That would have been the terrible thing. That would have been so bad.
Yes, it would.
Could you imagine we get cucked twice?
That's basically the final conclusion that both Deej and I kind of came to. Is just like, because it
My
would have
opinion
been
of both of you has decreased. The fact that was even a conversation for you, like, that would suck.
Yes, it would have. And
I'm actually in limbo right now. Sorry, I can't get to you. I'll get back to you later. And we're like, I
hate you.
Swear, I will end your. We're not even picking up Cather anymore.
Yeah, no.
Clearly,
At that point, it's like, whatever, dude.
He'll show up if he wants.
But I mean, yeah. But basically, the determining factor was like, well, given the fact that Cather knows that they're showing up, and Cather is a paladin, he has no real way to transport between planes on his own. It really just didn't make any sense when you put any real kind of thought into it.
Yeah.
Hence the fact it didn't happen that way. But I did find it very amusing because, like, even afterwards, like, we were both talking. It's like, yeah, no, that would have been terrible. That would have been such a bad thing. Like, if the party gets there and Kath is just gone, they're just like, what the heck, dude? What do you mean you're not here anymore?
And he's like,
what?
Did I not tell you? Oh, that was big miscommunication on my part, gang. I'll do better in the future. Which
is actually, so partway through the episode, Leshka sent a message to Cather, and it didn't get to him,
mm-hmm.
Of course, because the plane is on lockdown.
Did you immediately start to hyperventilate?
Well, the thing is, the reason I sent the message in the first place was purely to see if he was still on in Sigil, because again, I didn't know for sure whether or not Cather would be there up until the moment we found Cather. And so, like, literally, like, Drew kind of low-key metagame just a little bit. He's like, okay, before we actually try to get to Sigil, Leshka would probably, send a message to Cather just to confirm whether or not he's still at Sigil.
Look, I am totally okay with metagaming if it just makes sure that the plot doesn't suck. All right.
Well,
that's where I'm at.
So Grant and I have had these conversations before. There is a certain amount of metagaming that's kind of necessary for a healthy campaign.
Tactical metagaming is not tactical. Organic metagaming is what matters. Like, it's the same thing as, like, taking a hook as a player it's metagaming. Like, you as a person know your DM's like, yeah, there's a big ominous pyramid in the distance.
And the party, and then just imagine the party is just like, nah, I don't care about that.
Your character is like, okay, well, I should probably not go there. But you as a player know, I should go to the pyramid. So even though it may, no self-respecting adventurer would be
Right.
like, I definitely should go towards this.
Yeah,
But you're
definitely
not a
should go towards this.
self-respecting adventurer.
Uh-huh.
You're an idiot.
Yeah. Yeah, you're just looking for your death.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I also want to bring up. So I love Modrons. What are your feelings on Modrons?
I mean, I've never been in any sort of campaign or watched any sort of campaign or done anything that has a lot of stuff about Modrons. And personally speaking, I've not looked into them a whole lot because
Like, why would you?
on
Right?
the surface level, they have not interested me very much, and so I haven't looked into them a whole lot. Um.
I love Modrons.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They're first of all, they hit the little part of my soul that is really into like gross stuff, because you wouldn't think that they're supposed to be these like lawful good entities, and they are. And so you think of like a very clean and stuff, but they're like flesh robots, which is so up my alley. So aesthetic
yeah. It's definitely up your alley. It's that same thing of it's kind of the same, not quite the same, but it's adjacent to like what you always talk about with like Between the Rows. It's just how do you make something super creepy? You just make it normal and like get an excess of that, right?
Yeah. You're like, you could have robot and you could have flesh. You could have both of that, okay, then you have a cyborg. That isn't necessarily creepy, but then you have like way too much robot and just enough flesh. And it's great.
It's literally just a slight. It's like a film of flesh just on the surface.
So above all, I love how quickly the strength of Modrons goes from 0 to 100. Right? So like, if you go off of just the monster manual for Modrons, you start off Monodrones, challenge rating 1/8.
Yeah. I mean, because they have like what, 15 armor class and like 6 health.
And literally what I think that they do is they just multiply the challenge rating by 2 for each head that it gets. So from Monodrone to Duodrone, it goes from 1/8 to like a 4th. Or times 2. Yeah, no, maybe not times 2. It just adds another 1.
Fractions makes it sound more complicated than it is.
That would be 2/16.
I mean, it's still multiplied by 2 because 2 over 8 is 1/4.
Yeah. Okay, it is multiple. I forgot how math works. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it makes it fractions makes it you double check, but it is that. Yeah, it is.
From duodrones to tridrones, it goes from a 1/4 to a 1/2. Tridrones to quadrones, a 1/2 to 1, challenge rating 1, and then the strongest Modron in the monster manual is a pentadrone, which has a challenge rating of 2. So the threat of Modrons is kind of meant to be just their sheer numbers. So on Mechanus,
they're a hive mind, so like they just swarm you.
You literally have under the direction of their leader Primus, Modrons increase order in the multiverse in accordance with laws beyond the comprehension of mortal minds. Their own minds are networked in a hierarchical pyramid in which each Modron receives commands from superiors and delegates orders to underlings. Modron carries out commands with total obedience and utmost efficiency and an absence of morality or ego. They have no sense of self beyond what is necessary to fulfill their duties. They exist as a unified collective divided by ranks, yet they always refer to themselves collectively. There is no I, but only we and us. Anytime a Modron is destroyed, it disintegrates, and a replacement from the next lowest rank then transforms in a flash of light, gaining the physical form of the new rank. And then they're just constantly pumped out of Primus. Like just tons of Modrons. Now here's the thing. Right up there with Modrons, you've got like monodrones, duodrones, tridrones. Then we take a look at one other book. The only other like Modron is a merit. M-A-R-U-T. We jump from challenge rating 2 to challenge rating 25.
Wow.
The nigh unstoppable inevitables serve a singular purpose. They enforce contracts forged in the Hall of Concordance in the City of Sigil. Primus, the leader of the Modrons, created the merits and other inevitables to bring order to dealings between planar folk. A wide array of disparate creatures, including Yugoloths, will enter into a contract with inevitables if asked.
Interesting.
Literally, their creature type is large construct, parentheses, inevitable. That is the literal what they are.
That is their size category.
That is what they are.
That's funny.
They don't have a size. They are whatever size you want them to be. They are inevitable. This is what they look like, by the way. Just a
okay. Yep.
robot with one eye.
Yep.
They're kind of scary. First of all, they cannot be polymorphed. Their form cannot be changed. They have magical resistance. Don't need to eat, drink, or sleep. Don't need to breathe. They have 3 legendary resistances. They don't make attack rolls. They just hit you. There's no.
How many attacks do they get?
They make 2 unerring slam attacks that automatically hit, have a 5-foot reach, and deal 60 force damage, and are pushes the creature 5 feet away from them.
60?
On a turn, they cannot deal less than 120 damage.
Unless they just so happen to not have 2 people to attack.
If they choose to not attack you, they will not deal that damage.
Dude, that is beefy.
Mm-hmm.
That is real beefy. Now, granted, I still kind of want to fight one.
Oh yeah.
However,
absolutely.
that is terrifying. The idea that every round it can automatically deal 120 damage.
So, Looney Tooney, to catch you up, we're talking about Modrons, and the strongest Modron that I know of that has been released in a book is a Merit, and they are messed up. They also have a rechargeable attack, recharges on a 5 or 6, called Blazing Edict. In a 60-foot cube emanating from the Merit, each creature in that area takes 45 radiant damage. Each creature that takes any of this damage must succeed on a DC 20 Wisdom saving throw or be stunned. There is no save for the damage. They look at you in a 60-foot cube, blanket death damage, and you need to succeed on a DC 20 save or be stunned until the Merit's next turn. Additionally,
that's rough.
The last thing that has on this thing, 3 times per day, it can cast Plane Shift, requiring no material components and using intelligence as a spellcasting ability. They can cast a spell normally, or it can cast a spell on an unwilling creature it can see within 60 feet of it. If it uses the latter option, the targeted creature must succeed on a DC 20 Charisma saving throw or be banished to a teleportation circle in the Hall of Concordance and Sigil.
So they could just basically they just teleport you to prison.
They're loan officers. Is they say, excuse me, sir, your bond was not paid, so I'm going to need to either take you to jail or take your car.
That is crazy to me.
If you try to fight back, they hit you over and over and cannot miss. That's rough, dog. That's literally
that's brutal.
There's like, it's just bad.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Like,
now I'm just imagining if like one of those showed up like at last episode as we're trying to make our escape, like the horde just coming and eventually like we're beating back the horde and eventually we just see like two of these things like starting to approach and we're just like, oh crap.
I legit think that our current party, also Maz, it is M-A-R-U-T, a Merut or Merit. I'm not sure. It's inevitable. All right. Do crime, go to jail. Exactly. So I think legitimately how much health does this thing have?
Okay. So yeah, I was gonna say it depends on how it's because I think honestly with our current party, I think
I think we
I
die.
think we I
I
well
don't think it has 432 health and an armor class of 22. It also can fly.
the flying is the nail in the
It has
coffin.
40
The
feet of
the
movement
flying is kind of
and
well
can
okay, but
fly 30 feet
hold
with
on.
hover. So you can't drop it prone and cause it to plummet. It could
Hmm.
strafe run us with beams of death that deal 45 damage and you can't save. Eventually, when one of us gets stunned or knocked out,
Yeah, if one of us gets
teleport
stunned,
us just
that
out of
person's
here.
dead.
I
That
am
person's dead.
I am scaring myself because we definitely just killed like so many Modrons and fleed a lockdown state. Do not show DJ this video. I don't
Yeah, it's a
want to
good thing.
deal with
It's a good
this.
thing DJ isn't here right now.
Oh God.
Well, because okay, although I do think it would be difficult, but I do think actually our party could take on one by itself.
Okay, I have a question. How much health does Cather have?
Cather has 120 health.
Okay, so one round and you are unconscious.
Yes, yes.
One round,
Let's,
I think I'm dead.
let's see.
I think I die.
Okay. And again, I I'm not thinking like we beat this thing every time. Like I'm saying like out of 10 fights, I think we win maybe 5 of them, you know?
I don't even think we've got a 50-50.
Because
Because here's the thing, it can't miss. There's no like chance for it to be like, well, maybe if it just rolls really bad. It doesn't roll dice.
but see, here's the thing, and maybe you said this and I missed it. What kind of conditions is it immune to?
Yes, I don't know, dude. What kind of conditions are you trying to put on it?
Because because that greatly affects whether or not I think we can fight this thing.
I know that it can't be polymorphed. I didn't go far enough. It is resistant to thunder, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical attacks. It is also immune to charmed, frightened, paralyzed, poisons, and unconscious.
Okay, but not immune to stunned.
No.
Okay. So we just need to figure out a way to stun it, and then we just blow it up in one round. That's our one chance.
Can we deal 432 damage in one round?
I think we could. If it's stunned.
Also, we would have to stun it 4 times because it has 3 legendary resistances.
That is true, actually. You make a fair point.
Like, dude, I don't think we could. I think that we have to be like. I think a Merit is one of the few monsters that I have ever seen WotC release that might be too low of a challenge rating for what it is. One Merit.
Yeah, the more I was gonna say, I think, the more I think about it, I think you're just right. Really, it just comes, and really, honestly, I think the only thing it really comes down to is just the automatic hitting. Like the auto hit, I think is really the thing that
auto
kills.
hit, auto damage.
Yeah,
like that is absurd.
Yeah,
like at later levels,
I think
as you get
this
more health.
This is what we did. No, this is really what we need to do. We just need to shoot it from really far away.
Yeah. If you've got loads of distance on it, then you're good. Here's the thing, though. If it's in trouble, it knows like where you are, and then it can just plane shift it and then plane shift back to where you are.
See, that's why we need Abinthy, because Abinthy could just say no.
Yeah, Abinthy, if given an hour, could cast a spell that doesn't allow planar travel within an area.
Well, I was just going to say counter spell.
That is true, but I have to be within 60 feet for that.
Well, yeah, sure, 60 feet, but that's still okay. That's not horrible.
Oh, dude, I just don't even know. I'm like, that is absolutely terrifying. Like,
yes, it is horrifying.
Now, we don't have a single person in the party who could survive more than one round. like remain conscious for more than one round.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
think Tarak could maybe last a round and a half. Abinthy is almost unconscious in one hit.
How much health does Abernathy have?
I think I might have like okay. I think I have like 85 right now. So we leveled up. We didn't get to say it on stream, but we did level up. After the level up, I think I'm at 85. One hit, I am at 25 health. There is no spell I can use to dodge this, absorb it. Nothing. It's also force damage. It isn't a punch.
Mm-hmm.
So like unless you are a barbarian, like bear totem barbarian or whatever that has resistance to everything other than psychic, you are just getting yeeted.
Mm-hmm.
Like even barbarians can't dodge the damage for the most part. Like that's tough. So that's the scaling of Modrons is like 1,000 ants and then one Tarask. But it's also not just one.
Okay.
Like these are just the guards. Like they just hang out. Like, and that's what I love about the Modrons is they're like terrifyingly lawful.
Does somebody in the party didn't Edward take like bestow curse or something?
Yes. Yeah, Edward has bestow curse.
I feel like bestow curse, it might provide a way.
What are you looking at?
Specifically with bestow curse, there's while curse, the target must make a wisdom saving throw at the start of each of its turn. If it fails, it spends its action doing nothing.
Okay.
Now the technical bestow curse is it's not charm.
No.
You know
bestow curse
which
would theoretically affect it.
Would in theory affect it, which means so assuming what's his wisdom? What's the
wisdom
wisdom
saving throws are +10.
Okay, that's not horrible.
So well over 50% of the time it succeeds against that save.
I mean, again, so there's a chance. So it's not a great chance.
What you're saying is
so maybe out of like 10 fights we win like 3 of them.
3? I think that we might win 1 out of 10. Dude, like that is
it's a tough fight. I give you that one.
Also, this is another one of my favorite things that they included on the stat block. In languages, it is all but rarely speaks. That is a thing that is written into the stat block, but rarely speaks. I have never seen that. Who wrote this? Like, they could have just said all and included it in the actual paragraph. But no. In the stat block itself, it tells you, hey, just so you know, it can speak, but it chooses not to as part of its specified languages.
Start its turn.
Oh, God, that is absolutely wild. Dude, you take like one of the. I think a Merit can take a Tarask in a fight. I'm not even joking. But anyway, yeah. So I love Modrons. I hope that we don't deal with that because
maybe we could just if we just stack different conditions on it.
Yeah, if DJ lets us do a peasant railgun.
You know, because here's what I'm thinking. There's also in theory, confusion could also work on it.
Yeah.
So if we just stack enough conditions on it and then just have Abinthy stand really far away and just shoot it with lightning or something.
So
and then every now and again, Cather runs up and smites it.
This is what I'm saying. Every 1 out of 10 fights, we get really lucky. The other 9 out of 10, what happens is we started the fight. Even if all of us go first, It succeeds on its saves, and it runs up, punches Cather in the face for 120 damage. He gets knocked down. We
Yep.
might even heal him up on the next round.
Yep.
Punches him again once. Punches Abinthy once. Down. Next round, punch, down. It doesn't even technically need to do that. It could start off, maybe we are far away. Bam, 60-foot cube. At least 2 or 3 of us are getting stunned. All right, like Abinthy's not succeeding a DC 20 Wisdom save. That's not a thing that, like, maybe, but Edward's definitely not. Edward's out at that point in time.
I succeed. Not quite a 50-50 for, it's not quite a 50-50 for Cather. I have +9 to wisdom. So I succeed on 11 or above.
If Abinthy succeeds, he doesn't get to cast spells larger than cantrips on his next turn. That's the only way that Abinthy is succeeding in that save.
Are you including the possible +3 that I give you?
On knowing my rolls, because that means that I have a +4, so I have to roll a 16 or higher.
Uh-huh.
I have a reaction that can make
possible.
It a 12
it's not
or
great,
higher.
But
it's
possible.
If I use that reaction, I can't cast spells on my next round that are larger than a cantrip. I'm in trouble. That's what I know. Abinthy is in trouble.
I mean, yeah.
If Abinthy has his ability stacked up, then
I'm honest. Okay, so
we might be.
I'm wondering.
Better, but
I'm wondering how much damage can Cather do right now in like.
No, Looney Tooney, they're immune to charm.
If I make an attack, that's a D10 with my longsword, 2-handed, plus an automatic D8 because of improved divine smite, and then I can do a full divine smite, which gives me another. Right now, I can do 4th level spells, which gives me first is 2, and then second is 3,
up to 5.
Yeah, so up to 5. So yeah, with my 4th level spell slots, I can reach the max of 5, which gives me 5d8 from divine smite, 1d8 from improved divine smite, and then d10 from my longsword. Which even okay, so that's 68 plus a d10, and then if say by some miracle I crit, that's what is that? That's 68. That's 40. Yeah, let's see. What's 6 times 8? I'm blank. My
6 times 8 is 48.
It's 48. Okay, that's right. It's 48, and then so that's automatically 58 damage. So maybe I reach after I roll the dice and get some pluses. I'm hitting somewhere between 80 to 90 damage probably per on a crit.
So if you crit both of your attacks, congratulations, you've done maybe a third of its health.
Now, okay. So here's another thing. Although here's another factor that I will take in. I can also pump. Let's see, another 46 necrotic damage into that because of my Blood Fury tattoo.
Okay, so you've now officially done a third of its health if you crit on both attacks.
So that that could in theory bump it up to 100 damage per attack.
Okay, so you've got it down to half. Let's be real generous.
I mean, that's what we're doing here, right? We're being generous.
It deletes you from the face of the earth. In 1 round, gone. Out of here.
Although, actually, hold on a second. Hold on. That's not even put it in like a branding smite or something,
Okay.
Let's see. What's the highest smite I can?
Slightly over half health.
So
I love this like futile
this futile attempt.
Like maybe I could get there when it's like you've never ran before and you're like, I think I could do a marathon.
Sure, why not?
Like how it's running. How hard could it be?
Do you suppose that it can be blinded?
Oh, probably not. But it does have a rather large eye.
Because really, so really the question is, 1, can it be blinded? And 2, if it can be blinded, does that even affect its to hit? Because it's just an automatic hit. Okay. So that's another thing. So then if I put a blinding smite on there, right? That gives me additional 3d8 radiant damage. Plus they have to make a con save. What's the con on that thing?
+8.
+8. Okay. That's not great. That's still it succeeds
That's
on an
better
8 or
than some
higher.
things.
You know, that is, you know, yeah, it's not
And it
yeah.
also has advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical attacks.
That is true. So it has advantage and has to get a below 8 twice and we're talking about DJ, which means it's probably never going to happen. But it's still 3d8 extra damage. So we're up to 98 plus 46 plus a d10.
The disparity between these creatures is what makes it so wild for me. Where you have like, yes, I am a pentadron. I have 5 faces and fire 5 bows and have 5 swords. And it's like a challenge rating too. Like we could fight off a pentadron at like level 3 with one of us. Just like kick it a bunch. And it's like, and then it explodes. And then, like, the next step up, the next in the, like, quality of creature. Let's put it like this. In order for a normal Modron to get to the level of a Merit, let's see, we go to 2 to 4 to 8 to 16 to 32. So, once we have a dodecadron... Dodecadrons are stronger than Merits. That's what I've learned. But anything below a dodecadron,
Yeah. It is very comical though. The difference between those
wild.
two.
I
Because
can fire beams of death from my body.
yeah, like the idea that like why aren't all like Modrons just that? If those
right?
exist, like
well, it wouldn't be balanced then.
Primus has broken the rules of D&D within D&D. He has done what every player dreams of, you know, of just breaking the rules.
I love it because Primus, that's why I love Modrons. It's because Primus is such a like the whole not having to roll die for merits is first of all, I think all Modrons should have that, just with varying degrees. I think they should just remove the whole needing to roll a dice thing for Modrons, because their entire thing is we are creatures of law. Random chance does not matter. We like dictate how the world runs. This is how it should be, and by sheer willpower, that is how it is done.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that like fear entity of where it's like they are lawful good. Like they're not just going to murder rampantly.
I just now realized Modrons are the ultimate form of paladin.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I'm not. Yeah, they're like, this is how it works. Wop.
Because I say so, and you can deal with it now.
Absolutely. You know? And that's like terrifying. It's the scariest form of good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, and it isn't just like, oh well, clearly they only send the merits after like rampant terrible criminals. It's anyone who has gone into a deal interplanar like adjudicated, and then they're like, I don't really want to follow that. It could be some like 12-year-old who like some extraplanar entity was like, hey, sell me your soul and then I will give you unlimited power. And then they become an adult and they're like, that's like really not cool. I should not do that. And then the merit shows up and it's like, sorry, you made a contract. I don't know what else to tell you. Bwop, bwop. Like there's no like excuse. There's no like, oh yeah, well this is an exception. It's like, no, you broke the law.
Yeah.
I stole a loaf of bread.
Right. Yeah.
18
exactly.
years. Look.
All that to say,
Valjean,
Modrons, terrifying.
Valjean is just a merit.
A merit. See, yes, he's a Merit's who lost his will
Yeah, exactly.
to.
Well, because he was shown that there are exceptions,
Mhm.
and then he's like, it does not compute.
Yeah, and he
Which
just yeah, exactly.
explains
He just
why
yeah.
Russell Crowe sounded like a robot in that movie. He
Oh
was playing
man,
his character flawlessly. Anyway,
exactly. That's right.
I love Mojons.
But yeah,
Um,
Mojons are terrifying.
they're
I hope
great.
we never see them again.
Oh, you will. Um,
And yeah, but yeah. So the rest of the episode,
yeah, rest of the
Mo-
episode
Mojons
went
aside,
great.
but
We
yeah,
escaped.
pretty
We
good.
had a sweet like hold the line as we just
Uh-huh.
sucked at rolling
I
above like good
I am
numbers.
I am very glad, and this is getting into some things I'm excited for next episode, and probably the episode after that is when most of it will actually get revealed. Um, but I love the idea that Cather was just punching Modrons.
100%. Bwomp,
Like
bwomp, bwomp.
if he, and there's a very distinct reason for that because, and I
Yeah,
can't really get
you
into
got
it right
some new
now,
stuff going on.
but there's some new stuff going on with Cather,
Got some new
especially when it
stuff, some new
comes to
things.
to his sword and stuff like that, and when he uses it, which
I hope that it's incredibly powerful, but it's like a one-time use nuclear bomb. Like you're like they're like, why are you only fighting me with your fists? And Cather's like, the time has come. And he like pulls out, he like unsheaths his sword, and then the like an entire continent is just wiped
erupts.
off, and then it cuts back to him, and like the blade just turns to dust. He just throws the hilt behind him, and he's like, wow, that was fun.
Not quite like that, although that would be rad.
I would love to give, like, if I was DMing, I would love to give my player that button. Just
Honestly?
like, hey, this is a weapon that you can only use once, and it will wipe out every living creature other than you within a 30-mile radius. There is no save. That's just how it happens.
That just happens, you know. You just yeah.
I would also love to tell them that this is not the only one that exists, and just leave it at that. Could you imagine the fear that anytime
Right?
it's like this is
Anytime.
it looks like a normal sword too. So anytime
Uh-huh.
I'm like, yeah, there's a couple of swordsmen, but they still have their swords sheathed. People are just like,
What does that mean?
am I about to get wiped out in a 30-mile? Are we about to die? Like you
Yeah,
could give it to a
but,
random like a level
Just
1 player,
just a dude, yeah.
just a level 1, like, hey Dave, hey, I got you this magic weapon, this is what it does. The player's just sort of
It's-
like, oh.
It actually gives a negative to hit, but if you do hit,
Oh, yeah,
everything
it's
just
It's
dies.
a terrible actual sword.
Yeah.
Like, it's bad.
It's like, -3 to hit. You take damage
It's made of
when you use
styrofoam.
it. It's made of styrofoam. It's super flimsy. But if you do hit, everything dies.
Yep.
Oh man. But yeah,
So
there's a lot of like really cool like aesthetic and kind of interesting things for when it comes to Cather with a sword right now, especially really just Cather in combat in general. And something that I didn't do this last episode, which maybe I should have. I forgot to describe that he also something that the party would notice, like he actually carries there's a short sword that he carries, like actually like kind of like on his back, like kind of where his hip is.
Mm-hmm. I
It's just,
thought
it's
you
just
mentioned it.
well, because he mentioned his long sword. I mentioned the long sword on his hip, and which is just his normal long sword, and then the great sword that he got from Bison on his back. But he also now has a short sword, which in theory is the main blade he uses for like just like small combats.
This one's the silver one's for monsters. The steel is for men.
Yeah, that's
Which one is the real monsters? Like, you're going full Geralt.
That's right.
I would just
But
love for you just to have like by the end of this campaign like 7 swords. Like you've got like 2 straps to each of your legs.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's just like he has an attack for every situation. He might as well have a sword for every situation as well.
What you should do is you should do the My Hero Academia move and just get a whole bunch of belts and then wrap all of the blades into one big sword that you just swing around to get all of the bonuses at once.
There you go.
It's like twice the size of your body.
But oddly enough, he can still sheath it
Oh
on
yeah,
his back
of
and carry
course,
it.
yeah. Um,
Yeah.
a belt of binding. All it does, it can only use on swords, and
Uh-huh.
it just binds two swords into one sword.
Uh-huh. That's right. That's right. But yeah, lots of really interesting stuff with Cather, which I don't know how much of that will actually end up getting to see with Cather, especially because like some of it is just more naturally geared towards combat because Cather's a paladin. A lot
Yeah,
of the
that's like
stuff that
what you do.
like a lot of the cool stuff the paladins get to do is combat related. That's just
Hmm.
kind of how it works. Um, so really it would take like us getting into like our first like kind of real combat.
Look,
It'd be interesting.
between Abinthy and Cather, I
Hmm.
think our I think we're about to carry some combats on our shoulders.
Right? Yeah, honestly.
Like,
It's gonna happen.
I say leave the role playing to Grant and Lydia.
Yeah, exactly.
Let them
We'll let
crush
them
it.
role play.
Yeah, let
Yeah,
them
that's
have
right.
fun with that, and
Uh-huh.
then we will go. We'll start playing Warhammer. Uh,
Well, really what's gonna happen is, they're gonna have their role play moments outside of
mhm.
combat, just talking to each other, having great conversations. And then we're gonna have our role play moments in combat.
Yeah, yeah.
It's gonna get to our turn and we're just gonna have this really long monologue description of something we do that just looks really
It's
cool.
gonna be like a
Right?
tag team RPG
That's
where
right.
you just like roll initiative and then we slap hands with the other two and tag
Uh-huh.
in. Like,
Yep, that's
aha,
right.
I've got a 34. Like, that's what
You
I'm looking forward
activated
to.
my trap card.
This whole time, Abinthy was there. Like, I
Oh man,
love.
I'm really excited for Aventhy and Cather.
Dude, I find it so funny that if you look at the rolls for initiative, Abinthy's have been like not good in
Oh,
comparison to how Abinthy should have been, but he's
uh-huh.
still gone first in almost every combat.
Uh-huh. Well, okay. And like literally none of and that's purely just because none of us have decent dexterity. Like
No,
I think at this point Renaya has the highest
yeah, something
dexterity,
like
I
that.
think, with like a 14.
Yeah,
And it's
Edward might be around there,
yeah, I
like a
think Renaya and Edward
14,
are like
15 ish.
yeah, somewhere around there. I think they have a plus like
Do you still
a
have a
plus
do you,
2.
do you still have a -1 as
Uh
Cather?
Cather still has a negative
Oh,
1.
that's gotta
That
be
has
good.
not changed. That will probably never change. Well,
That's
I
no. I think you
it
should
might
keep it.
change, but I don't
That's
know.
like your symbol. That's like the
Yeah,
bat symbol is just a -1 on
it's yeah.
Cather's chest.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Would it really be Cather if he couldn't achieve a 0
Yeah,
initiative
exactly.
score?
It's as God intended.
Exactly. Also, speaking of like getting a 0, I in my mind, I always love the idea that if you score a 0 for initiative, you're actually not in combat.
Just
You
you just fall unconscious.
like 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 the party's fighting and for some reason Cathard like is just not there.
You
Like
can
he like 10 minutes ago he wandered off. He gets back like Rise combat finishes. Like
I would raise you if you roll a 0, you just don't participate in the first round, and once the next round comes up, you roll again because you only get there then.
right,
Um,
exactly.
so
Yes.
you have a
Yes,
chance if you
I would
if you
agree with
keep
that
rolling
statement.
zeros. If you keep rolling zeros or below, you
He just never
only
shows
get to
up.
participate. You only show up in combat once you roll above a 0.
Uh-huh. Honest, I would actually love that
Like
person.
we're
I
on the
would think
boat,
that'd
we're
be
on
kind
like
of
the
rad.
flying ship, and
Uh-huh.
it's like roll initiative. It takes like 20 minutes for Cather
For
to get
Cather to
into
show up.
combat
Yep.
because he fell off the boat, has to hit the ground, run, grab a rope, and climb up it to get back onto the boat. Like,
I just I loved him at like we're like on the boat and like it's like all right, roll initiative. Like everyone rushes to meet the enemy and
mhm.
Gath like takes a single step and like he just falls through the ship.
Yeah,
Like he like the floor just breaks beneath him and he's like falls into like the cargo
a
bay.
bird just swoops down, and just sweeps him, just takes him away.
Oh
Um,
man. But yeah, and we ended off the episode. Well, this wasn't at the very end of the episode, but conversation between
Leshka and
Leshka
Abinthy.
and Avanthy. I'm pretty excited about that. I'm
I'm
excited
excited
about
about it.
opening the episode with that.
Yeah, I'm as well.
Um, just because and I've been kind of going through it with my head. I've more firmly established what I'm glad it didn't happen yesterday or not yesterday on Monday because I'm more firmly established what exactly Leshka would ask and
Mhm.
what he would care to ask. because it's not quite the same as what I originally thought it would be. Um, which I think is good because uh, it's not going to be as he's not going to care too much about the details as much, which I think is a better way for that conversation to go, just because like then that gives Abinthy time to bring it up more organically and when he's ready, right? And
Yeah.
it doesn't like cut short kind of his arc of coming to terms with that kind of stuff, um, which I think is good. And I think it just leaves the two off on a better note.
I think I've like I've got it planned out. I've got it sitting in my mind how because he will tell a story, but he cannot tell his story.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And but it won't be. It's not like he's going to lie to. He's going to tell a fake story. It'll just be different than what he will eventually tell once you can see his side of it.
Sure.
Because there's a lot of context that he needs to fill in beforehand.
Right.
But yeah, I'm excited for that conversation. I'm excited to tell that story. I've been working on it for a long time. It was also revealed at the very end of the episode that Cather has a new love interest. A new ship has entered the port.
Well, actually, a new ship entered the port and actually sailed.
Yeah, like it's happening.
Yeah,
like smashed the champagne bottle and everything.
Yeah, the relationship with Atrasil and Cather. I did find it very amusing that the DJ ended with that.
Oh my goodness!
Like it totally makes sense and it has context, but I thought but it brings it all back to being like really hilarious to me when Edward was like, "Oh, Cather has like a new Autumn Daughter girlfriend." I'm like, dude, you cannot be further wrong. Like that is so not how it is. But yeah, anyway.
True. If Abinthy, Cather, and Atrasil, does that name start with an A?
Mm-hmm.
If we were a thruple, our thruple name would be AK-47. Because Abinthy's 47 years old. And it's Atrasil Cather 47.
Wow. Guys, this is why we come to Table Scraps. This is only stuff you would hear on Table Scraps.
Oh my goodness.
Oh wow,
put that in the Discord.
That's amazing. That's actually amazing.
Oh man. So we're gonna have to make this throuple work. All right. I'm gonna have to get it going.
Yeah. Although, and I love now the meme that is becoming, at least within the cast, of Edward needs to pick up his love life.
Everyone.
Yeah. If Aegis, Cather's got a god, Renaya's got a demon prince and is a demon prince, and
I've got a
Abinthy has an archdevil. Like that,
Edward.
The only thing left is Edward to date an archfey.
Edward is dating down right now. All right, and he could aim his sights so much higher or lower depending on where exactly he's aiming.
Oh, man, and
we need him to date an archfey.
Yeah, an archfey. That's right. Like we need him to find, and honestly, I think it's plausible, like in the idea that okay, if the party the party is the pseudo, not quite neutral ground, but they're like they're the people who are seeking the peace for the material plane and making sure like this whole war thing doesn't break out, right, between the demons, the devils, the archfey, the gods, all this stuff, right? It would make sense for us to find an archfey that we can ally with that can then develop a relationship with Edward,
and we can kind of use as like a go-between.
It just fits. It's perfect. Is really what it is.
I'm gonna look real quick because I've got a list of possible archfey. Yeah, that I've given to DJ already.
That does. Now this is backtracking a little bit, but I had this thought, and I was waiting for a good point to bring it up. Who do you think in DJ's world made Modrons?
Oh, I know exactly who it is.
You know who it is?
I know exactly what the Modrons are.
Because in Nico Mira's, Primus doesn't actually exist. Like the god Primus doesn't exist.
Oh yeah, so Primus is, so the Modrons are actually pre-Nicomeris.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So Lord, I'm going before creation of everything, like before Lanantari did all of her stuff. Basically, Lanantari shows up. Um, there's a bunch of roiling chaos.
Mm-hmm.
She creates Nicomeris.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that energy of making Nicomeris spills out.
Mm-hmm.
Does a whole bunch of other stuff. Turns out there has been another place, basically an original prime god similar to Lanantari, that has been kind of mining its own deal,
Mm-hmm.
which was Mechanus, aka Primus, that
Mm-hmm.
has just been existing. But they were two completely unknown entities to the other one. That when Lanantari made Nicomeris, they found each other, then had to basically garner like a peace agreement of sorts.
Right. Yeah. Make
kind of
peace treaty.
like, okay, you guys deal with the interplanar travel, don't mess with Nicomeris.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the Modrons kind of came into it.
Right.
So
right.
here's the potential dating pool of Arc Fae that I know about. Massifel, the Lord of Slaughter, a carnivorous bison. Really big bison, just covered in blood and spears. Option, potentially. We've got Tabalek, the Eye of the Storm, which is literally just a walking whirlwind filled with lightning. Korgrax, the Prince of the Tome, kind of elven in nature with skin that is almost made of like papyrus that has words moving across it. And then Impradel, Lady of the Shadow, a faceless kind of gray, like tall, dark woman that you can't really make out her features.
Tall, dark, and handsome.
Yeah, tall, dark, and handsome. Wearing a gray dress with a large sun hat that still obscures her like features.
It's just adult Ash. That's what I hear. It's just adult Ash.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And yeah, and so out of those four, those are our summer Arc Fae. I would say the Impradel is the easiest shoe-in, although Korgrax, Prince of the Tome, he is royalty. Mm-hmm. Which
I was gonna say, I mean, it doesn't even have to be necessarily an Arc Fae.
That's way more entertaining. Look,
I mean, it's more entertaining for it to be an Arc
devil
Fae
and a god. We can't just be like, yeah, go date this wood nymph.
I mean, well, yeah, no, yeah, I mean, yeah, still not like just like not just any kind of run of mill Fae, but I still think like, you know, like a lesser Arc Fae kind of thing, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay.
Still one that's a part of like the courts, right? But like isn't one of the most predominant figures, right?
Let's move on to the winter Arc Fae.
Mm-hmm.
All right, because I have 4 more options.
Oh yeah. Oh okay.
Yeah. So we have Daffin, which is the Drowning Silence, which is
choice.
just a chained mass of fur and tentacles. which I don't want to predict anything, but that's not a bad option. All right. We have Peritor, the Queen of Frost, which is a round sprite size, so tiny. Looks like a traditional sprite, except her mouth is just piranha teeth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so she is supposedly the one who coined the term frostbite. Winter comes and your fingers freeze and fall off. That's her fault. We have Falin, the Archdeacon of Death, which is a handsome businessman with full blue eyes.
Ooh. Oh.
And you know that Edward is down with business.
That's right. He's down with business. That's right.
And then we also have Bahan, the Lord of Blades, which is just a sword. Now, hear me out. We've encountered Bahan before in the one shot. In the guest one shot, Bahan was there.
Mm-hmm. I kind of want that. Honestly,
I think that's
for
doable.
Edward.
I think that's very doable.
Uh-huh.
I think that would make Edward into he would be a very competent fighter.
Uh-huh.
and it would be a cool story element, and it kind of has that weird like everyone else who's dating like their significant other kind of had it always starts off with a weird like, do they possess you or do you work from them for them, and then it kind of grows into an actual loving relationship, and that's Bahanan's deal, right? Like you have to prove to Bahanan like you are worthy to wield him in battle, to the point where even his mere presence is a scourge upon the battlefield. That sounds like right up Edward's alley.
I mean, potentially, yeah. I can either like agree nor disagree, just because we haven't seen Edward's combat capabilities a whole lot as of the break.
That is true.
As of coming back, we've only been in like shoot, we've only been in like one combat, like one like actual kind of combat and that was at the library, right?
Yeah, and in that one he was too stunned to really do anything.
And yeah, and like literally Edward just stood there contemplating life.
Yeah, which to be fair could be his prowess in combat.
Right, that's his new ability.
He's like,
He's become a philosopher.
It is true, a man is not but a featherless biped. Like,
so I can't say for sure that Edward would be the kind of person to prove himself to Bahanan. Now I don't know if that's not true. I just don't know if it is true.
I feel like he could just form a harem of Archfey. I feel like that's an Edward move. Like, look, some days you want the handsome blue-eyed businessman, and by blue-eyed I mean full blue, like not like
not like full blue, like full blue
like
eyes,
deep ocean eyes. Sometimes you want a handsome businessman.
Another idea.
But
now again, you want
this is massive chained fur and tentacles. Like sometimes you gotta vary it up every once in a while. Sometimes you just want a bloody bison.
Going off of this just a little bit. And again, this isn't an Archfey, but I do think it would be kind of interesting though if Edward got himself an Autumn Daughter.
And
like here's why.
He captures one in a cage.
Well, I'm just saying,
got him.
We've seen Autumn Daughters defect before, right? I mean,
Sam's already there
from Sistari, right? So who knows? Maybe we've find like another good Autumn Daughter, right? And Edward and her and Edward hit it off, right? They have a great time, and then just all the more reason for us to fight Sistari.
That is fair. I hope that Edward ends up with Sam, the joke secretary character. I think that is.
I mean, it is pretty clear that Sam has a crush on him.
It's probably more up Grant's alley, too, which is hilarious. Just the character that we've made fun of because we've named multiple characters Sam.
And it does fit the meme of Edward is just a normal guy amongst like demigods,
100%, where he's just like, hi, I am Edward, and then it's like, I am Abinthy Tripowitz. I have walked across storm-ridden lands, called down fire and lightning from the sky. And then Edward's like,
exactly.
I can play not only the lute, but also
a flute, a lute and a flute. And I can make poems.
Yes, they're not good.
I also am somewhat eloquent with a blade.
Did you know I am proficient in calligraphy? It's great. It's a very Deadpool like X-Force like. I have both type 2 and or type A and type B diabetes. And that's like a superpower. I'm an accountant actually.
But like you're like an accountant, but by day, but like by night you're a crime fighting. No, I'm just an accountant, just a normal accountant.
Absolutely, and I love that for Edward. I absolutely love it. But yeah,
it does fit with the theme of the meme.
Oh, yeah. Now, we did have another stream this week.
That's right. We did have another stream.
Last night, we streamed episode 1 of Between the Rows, Sins of the Father.
Fantastic episode. Great start to the new season, I think.
I was talking to Grant. So, for every time I DM, I try to do better than the last time I DM'd. Just in some way.
Yeah.
at minimum, I don't want to go backwards. One of the things that I've struggled with for a long time has been one shots and episode ones.
Mm-hmm.
Like those have always been hard for me. I normally do pretty well once you get going into it, but like
Right.
that
Yeah. Yeah.
first episode, oh man, I struggle. Um, I think that this first episode and the guest one shot are probably the best like first episode kind of deals I have ever done. Like over the course of 7 years. I loved this past episode. I loved DMing it. I loved watching you guys play. It seemed like you guys were having a good time.
Oh, it was a blast. I greatly enjoyed the first episode. I mean, I've greatly enjoyed every episode that we recorded so far. So.
But it felt good. Also, shout out to Let's Not for more incredible art. Literally, we had so you can actually see it if you watch the VOD and eventually the YouTube video probably. But we run a reel of tarot cards that Let's Not made for us and like made the art for and stuff like that. You just keep posting more of them, and every single time, like they just show up out of nowhere. I had to get a new phone yesterday, so I did not. I only downloaded Discord like 2 hours ago, or something like that. I had to re-download it and sign back in. I look. There's more. There was another one. I was like, whoa.
One for
but don't
for well, I suppose
terror, right?
Yeah, for terror, yeah.
The devil,
Which is the devil, yeah. Which
is I absolutely love it.
Yeah, and I think it's a very interesting interpretation of the character.
It looks
visually speaking.
It's so good. Visually. Like it might be my favorite one that they've made.
Yeah. And like cuz like when I saw it too, like I find it very, very interesting and deeply fascinating purely because like in my head I pictured terror and torment very, very differently.
Mm-hmm.
And so seeing this version of it, I think is so cool just because again it just kind of shows you a different perspective. It like kind of gives it new life, in a way.
I mean, it's very, very cool. They're just absolutely beautiful. We actually have some of the physical ones that Let's Not was kind enough to print and send to us.
Oh yeah,
Good lordy, they're just so like I literally I just don't even know what to say about them. Like they're just beautifully done. Like wow. And I'm excited. I don't want to put any pressure on you. Let's not. But I really hope that you make more of them.
We would greatly appreciate it. If now it's totally up to you.
I think they might be my favorite fan art that has been sent to us. Like
that's fair.
First of all, because it's something
they're all
that I
very,
didn't.
very good. Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. There's
Second
always
of all,
you're gonna have a little bit of bias.
The art style is super cool. Like it isn't hyper detailed, but somehow it is. Like I don't know how else to explain. Like it's very because of the almost like impressionistic art style, where it's like you don't have like eyes, but you have like facial hair or like, in the form of like Silas and stuff like that. And there's like the background is incorporated into the actual like fire or wind or smoke.
The whole it's
so interesting.
Well, yeah, and like the entire piece, like the entire all of it is used to help tell the story, right? Like there's not like the character is used, elements that are affecting the character, the background, this the staging, all of it, and like the detail is in just all that is there, and not like just like how much detail can you see like on this one character so much as how can the amount of detail just in the composition as a whole.
Oh yeah, and some of them almost are like 3D. Like it feels like almost layered paper. Like the biggest one for me is Temperance. Like Temperance feels like layered paper, which is super interesting to me.
I missed this one. The High Priestess. I hadn't seen this one before.
Yes.
That one's really good. Wow.
It's really good. Like I just have I have no words. For any of you who are watching this later and you don't know what we're talking about, they will be in the Discord. They will be on the episodes of Between the Rose Sins of the Father. We'll talk about them a whole bunch. Literally, if you message us, we will send you an image because I download them to my phone every single time, just so that way I can scroll through them every once in a while.
Yep. They were really, really good.
Like, they are absolutely incredible. And we thank you very much for sending them to us. We love getting fan art. But yeah, first episode.
Aaron, did you see what Let's Not put in the chat? I spent all stream yesterday taking notes for the next set.
I'm holding in a scream.
That is so cool.
I'm holding in a
but yeah, but speaking of first episode, we introducing the characters.
Yeah. There was all around, I think the episode was really good. Mm-hmm. We got to see a whole bunch of references to previous campaigns and stuff. Mm-hmm. We got to see Grant and Crowbar, you are playing the son of Crowbar, your
That's
previous
right.
character.
Yes. CJ
Jones. You did a fantastic. First of all, my favorite thing as a DM is playing my character's parents. Like, I love it. I love playing Crowbar and having him be a very life has taken a toll on Crowbar. All right.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's kind of just par for the course, right?
And then Grant as the doesn't understand really how to be a dad,
mm-hmm.
but is
but really has a heart for it.
He's trying, but he's also really frustrated because he's like, why doesn't this kid just do what I want him to do? And I really enjoyed that. Playing Clara's parents, even though they were only there very briefly, was super fun for me.
Mm-hmm.
The Donnelly family, just a very busy, I'm sure my daughter's gonna be fine. They clearly care for her, but they're like, I mean, we've got jobs to do. We've got a couple places to be and stuff to do. Mm-hmm. And then the crown jewel.
That's right.
Jewel, the baby boy, Big D returns.
Old Devin.
This season of Between the Rose, and he is just man. What a guy.
Mm-hmm.
What a Devin.
And okay, and not obviously not a guardian / adult figure for any of the current party members, the current cast members for this season, but also Timothy.
Oh my God, Timothy! Wait, was Timothy in episode 1? Did he show up at the end, or did he?
Oh no, maybe.
It might. Hey.
It might be episode 2.
Gang.
I'm so sorry. Spoilers. Spoiler alert.
I don't think that he shows up, but
there's a character that comes back that you'll see.
Yeah, episode 2. Get ready for another cameo of a season 1 character who has radically changed.
Yeah, come back for episode 2.
But yeah, the characters start off an adventure. Grant calls all of them up to go to the Moonlight Plaza to deal with the local mall, to deal with kind of an incursion of the in-between that the readings have been showing is popping up in the mall. So
also, I love I get a personal chuckle out of us coming back to kind of Rock Creek and all that, just because of the fact that it's based off of the town that we all.
Our hometown.
It's literally just based off of our hometown.
It's like a 1-to-1.
Yeah, and literally everything, anytime you're describing places, I can very easily picture it in my head. It's like, oh yeah, I know exactly what this is.
And it makes it easier for me as a DM because I can just be like, hey, you know that street, Norfolk and First, that kind of intersection. It's like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The Hy-Vee East is just down the road. It's next to a car. I can just do stuff like that. And then people have a much clearer in their
and even now, Lydia kind of knows,
and Lydia can do that too.
Because since she lives there now.
Yep.
So works out.
But yeah,
Perfect.
so you venture to the mall. We do a little bit of last minute character building, the staple of Between the
Yes.
Rows.
Yes.
Um,
We've discovered that CJ needs reading glasses.
CJ, oh that will come into play. That is a thing that will
That's right.
absolutely. I'm bringing it up.
I
It's gonna
I
happen.
like and I it's a perfectly fine like it's most of these character things are supposed to be just kind of fun, quirky things that like don't cause serious issue, but they're just fun little character things. I don't know why. I think I partially know why, but for some reason I just hate the idea that I need that CJ would need reading glasses, and I think it's because I Drew have perfect vision.
You're like, this doesn't
But
relate to me at all.
exactly, like it's just and honestly, really more so the idea that I'm the only person in my family with perfect vision, and so eventually it's bound to happen that I need glasses, and I hate that
This
thought.
is true horror. It's
Exactly.
the impending doom.
It is. It's the
Um,
realization. It's like it starts with reading
it
glasses, and
always
then it
does.
goes from there.
Always does. I
Yeah.
love it. I mean, of course, there was obviously once again the crown jewel of traits added,
Hmm.
where DJ's character just loves Bionicles. Just like
Just
bases life decisions off of
uh
them.
huh. Off the
Um,
wisdom of the
like the
lore.
wisdom of the lore, very well written. Posters, fan fictions,
It.
blog posts,
Uh huh.
which for those of you who don't know, DJ himself
Oh yeah.
loves
Like
Bionicles.
both myself and DJ
I mean,
grew up like
I love Bionicles,
it's
dude.
yeah. So many people. If you are a kid who was you were between the ages you were like like 10 or under in the early
In
2000s
that
you
era,
grew up with
oh yeah,
you grew up with Bionicles, you play with Bionicles all the time. And then they did a crappy reboot, and then they
yeah, and they
like
messed up a whole bunch of things multiple times. And,
it's
well,
disappointing.
actually, I legitimately I have watched a 6 hour video on the full lore of Bionicles,
Mm-hmm.
followed by why another video that was roughly 2 hours long as to why Bionicles died, and it was
Mm-hmm.
very informative.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
and a lot
it's
of it
it's very elaborate.
was uh, like as to why they like died was because the story had gotten so deep and complex
Mm-hmm.
that they couldn't generate new people to buy the product. Because you look at it and you're like, I don't know what this is, and I would have to watch 3 movies, go play like 7 different website browser games
Uh-huh.
that have been closed down. I
Uh-huh.
don't know who these characters are. I don't know what they're like. It looks cool, but
it
I don't know anything about
it's
it.
they yeah, really yeah, it's really just the problem is they didn't have a good outlet to help tell the
Yeah,
story,
they
right? They didn't
play they played
it's not like
themselves.
yeah, it's just like they need to consolidate to like one place. This is where you
Mm-hmm.
can find all the story stuff, right? And you can get invested. You don't need to go to all these other places, do all these other things, right? If you just wanted to enjoy the figurines, just get the figurines,
I
right?
think if they had made a
Um,
TV show,
mhm,
it would be a different story.
maybe, yeah. Well, and also they also like it doesn't help like the movies and stuff like that. Like just every movie in some way retcon something from the other
Yep.
movie.
And then you're watching it. So then if you watch them even out of order, you're like, well, hold on. That
Yeah,
doesn't make
like
any
that's
sense.
that's my
You watch them
biggest
in
gripe with
order, and you're still as confused.
with the original like trilogy of like Bionicle movies. Like the first one is solid, sets up this world. It's really cool. It's interesting, and then the second movie happens, and and it's a prequel, which
Mm-hmm.
is okay. Great, prequels are great. Okay, you kind of see with some. There's a few things here and there that don't quite match up, but that's fine. But in theory, the prequel takes you pretty much directly into the original movie, and then you have another prequel
Yeah, it's like
that
the
doesn't
ancient
quite
prequel,
match
though.
up anywhere in the timeline because the original prequel like led directly into the original
Yeah.
movie. But then now there's like this little tiny strip where another adventure happened that doesn't make any sense
Mm-hmm.
at all, like of it happening.
Yeah.
because the prequel was like the prequel was too good, and so then they like wanted to keep those characters but make a new story.
It's something. They did stuff with Bionicles, but yeah, that is like one of my favorite um like additional character building that has been done in a Between the Rows. I think that's
Oh yeah,
hilarious.
that was really good. Oh, and then DJ has to ruin everything like he does. He
Ugh,
literally
dude, makes
makes it
just
harder
everyone's
for
lives
the
harder.
party.
I find it so funny, and someone, it might have been Mads who asked that. Yeah, with the like Ohio branch, where he's like, hey, how far does the does it stretch? And at the same time, in chat and in stream, like in the pre-recording, I'm like, well, it used to go to the farther reaches of Nebraska, but now that DJ screwed us over.
Yeah, now the DJ said that the Homestead Society is dying.
Yep.
It's just like
Everything, it's there's way less of them.
yeah, I was just like, well, what the heck, DJ?
Yeah, DJ.
We already saw that was what season one was. Season one
Time.
was the society was on its last
time.
legs. So yeah.
That was fun. The character creation was fun. I really enjoyed. I think that, and this was mentioned by some of the players as well. Things ramped up real fast.
Oh,
where
real
it was
fast.
like, haha,
Real
hey guys,
fast.
how's it going? Let's go to the mall. Hey, look, a little train set. That's a little spooky. You're walking through a department store, and then it's like, demon possession. People are dying. Your dreams are coming to life, and the floor is melting. You're sacrificed on a blood all like,
Yeah,
it's like out of nowhere.
I think props to you, Aaron, and a little bit of this I think is a bit of self projection of like what of my ideas of what's going to happen story wise in this season. But this and this includes even like the episode, like even beyond episode one. This has been the most terrified that I have been for
Man.
Between the Rows.
That feels good.
Feels
right.
Like, and it starts right away with episode one. We started with episode one. We introduced characters. It's all fun. It's jovial, and then immediately it's like it hits, and it hits hard. At least for me and my character, which I absolutely.
Oh yeah, well,
I think it's really.
I had a lot of fun. I got to, first of all, thank everyone else for going along with the whole, hey guys, let's split up, because that makes my job easier. And it's it's like a horror show, like you want the characters to do that,
right?
Even though it's like you probably shouldn't.
It goes back to the healthy amount of metagaming.
Yeah,
you know.
Exactly. And then each player kind of gets they're like, oh, what are we experiencing? And I loved like going through a thing and ending on a cliffhanger like 4 times in a row.
Oh yeah, I love
just
that.
Like you fall to the ground, Grant.
Yeah, exactly.
You're over
it's like,
here.
Yeah, literally with Lydia's character, Clara, it's just like, all right, so you get possessed by a demon. So,
let's go.
Elliot,
edge.
what are you doing?
Yeah, how's it going? And then it's like and then I get to link them all together by having Sam go check on Lydia at the end of so at the end of Elliot's, he sees like an explosion, and they're like, oh, and then it goes over to Sam. Explosion hasn't happened yet. He finds Clara, gets to deal with that, and then at the end of his, it explodes again. We reverse time again. Go to your character. Before the explosion happens.
And then, of course, by that point, I know I'm the person who blows up.
And I had a ton of fun there. This season really feels like a puzzle that the players are getting to solve, which is fun for me, because if they are trying to solve it and it feels like they're making progress, that means that I didn't blow it on the terms of putting the puzzle pieces there.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there has been so something that I do enjoy, despite the fact that DJ mentioned that the society is dying. It definitely feels like, at least for our characters, like we know what's going on, right?
Oh yeah.
We don't feel like we're lost in the dark and we have no idea how to progress and what to do.
Yep.
And it's very clear that like we are equipped to do this thing, right? That we're trying to do, which is very
10,
very.
Right?
It feels very good. Sorry, what?
You guys are like level 10 at first episode, I think.
For the first episode, level 10.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think level 10.
I think
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
level 10.
Um,
Oh, let's not brings up a very important thing. So they're very excited that the prophecy from season 2 came back in episode 1. The between the rows and alleyways there lies the setting
yes.
sun. By fire shall rise, by fire shall fall the beast of 71.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch season 2, the person who gives that prophecy is like, there's other lines, but I can't grab them.
What are
Guess
those other
what you
lines?
get in this
we
season?
we now have them.
Yep, you get to find the rest of the lines of the full prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm real excited. Also, shout out to Grant for an absolute banger intro.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like he was like, Aaron, I finished it, and I like go to his room and I'm listening. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is pretty on par. Like this is, and then like there's a bass drop. Like,
Yep.
and it turns into trap music, and I'm like,
Uh-huh.
oh shoot, what happened here?
what I enjoy the most about the intro is it's very much it still sticks to our kind of staple theme, just in general, that the Paper Dungeon channel has, between even like not just including between the rows kind of themes. But we've never had this more like kind of like
we're in 2033,
you know, this,
baby.
like, yeah, like the more like pop, like electro kind of thing. I think it is, personally speaking, it's not like my preferred style, but I do very much like this different take on it, and it definitely feels like this new thing.
And it feels like current, but not like current, which is exactly the vibe.
Yes, because technically speaking, we are in the future.
Yeah, we're not like too far in the future.
Not, like,
it's
too
like
far,
10 years
but like,
at this
we
January.
Are in the future. Yeah.
And Grant was like, I'm not sure if it fits with the vibe. And I'm like, Grant, you could have handed me a little pile of crap on a plate, and it would have been like, absolute fire, my guy. Now I don't have to lie. And oh man, fantastic intro.
It really, really good.
I also really enjoy writing the little spoken word bit at the start. And hiding little things in that. Would I ever do a winter between the rows? I mean, yeah, absolutely. It's been summer. Well, technically, hold on, I gotta check a thing.
Are you checking when the fire of 1871 happened?
Technically, the Great Chicago Fire happened in October, which is close.
Yeah, that's fall.
That's fall. I would say the every other year. So like especially the ones in Rock Creek, those take place during the summer. But I am super down with having the like every other year when we go somewhere other than Rock Creek, that we do it in like the winter or the fall or something like that.
I'd be down. Yeah, I think that'd be really cool. Really
I'm super down. For next season, Original Sin, I'm going to put in the winter. I've decided. I think I'm going to put it in the winter.
Doing it. Set here on table scraps.
I already have an idea of what the plot is for like season 4.
Now, question: Does it still link to this current season?
Yeah. So season 1, 2, 3, and 4 are going to be a quartet. Like all of those will link directly.
They are all connected to each other and help tell
maybe
a
season 5,
grand story.
But season 5 is much more of a like you can link it, but it isn't necessary. So season 1, you meet the location basically. So you find Rock Creek. All of the pieces are set out. You officially know that there's a puzzle. Season 2, you get added some pieces of the puzzle. Season 3 is when you get to see the end of the completed puzzle. So we are going to end the arc here. Season 4, we're going to see the beginning of the puzzle. So season 4 Original Sin um will deal with like the beginning of the plot that has been carried through seasons 1 and 3.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's like season 1, 2, and 3. That's like the trilogy, and then season 4 is like the prequel to the trilogy.
Yes, very
It's
much so.
it's season 4 is actually season 0.5.
Yep. So season 4 will be, first of all, based in Ireland.
Okay.
So
Oh, is it is oh
yeah, it's
oh
the,
is
it's
that
the old
is
Ireland
is it
one.
is it the potato famine? Is
Yeah,
that what
it's
we're doing?
it's in the Great Irish Famine.
Nice.
That's when it's going to be based.
I'm excited about this because then we get to focus on Bailey's family, right?
Yeah, we get
Like
to
the Pattersons.
we get to actually see the like Pattersons as they were originally. And
That's exciting.
the thing is, there's a strong chance that none of the other characters, you may not even be playing a Patterson. Who knows? That'll be up to you guys. But you can choose to not have them relate to any of the other characters in the other seasons. You'll just see the beginning of the Pattersons.
See, so okay, so personally speaking, I don't know for sure what I would do. I, for instance, if it's allowed, would still be down to play a Jones.
Yeah.
He would actually end up being an Espacio at that point still, because he would be an Espacio from Italy at that point.
And then like migrated
and like
or
and like maybe like was visiting Ireland
and go to Ireland, or did they start in Ireland and move to Italy?
Well, so are you talking about the famine or the family?
The family.
The family they started in Italy, but in my head, I could foresee that like a couple different reasons as to maybe why they would have left Italy, gone to like Ireland, and then the U.S., or like maybe they visited Ireland during the famine.
Yeah, and it does make sense to have like, because there was a lot of like Irish immigration to like many different areas in the U.S. as well. So they may have even stayed in Ireland for a while. But we'll figure it out once.
But that and who knows, stuff can change. But I personally, like off the top of my head, I think it would be cool to still, if these 4 seasons are supposed to be kind of this connected thing, I would be down to play.
Absolutely.
I would down to play an Espacio.
Absolutely. I'm excited.
Yeah.
We'll actually be recording episode 5 tonight.
Episode
4.
Episode 4 tonight.
Episode 4 is recorded tonight. Oh man,
we're already 2/3 of the way done.
I've got some plans.
Kind of crazy.
For the episode 5 and 6. Episode 5 and 6, I think, are going to be. I mean, this episode 2, I think, is going to be pretty.
It's going to be.
I mean, yeah. I think this season is going to be pretty banging.
Yeah, the first 3 episodes that we've recorded so far are all solid. Pretty strong. There's not a
episode
single
2, probably the least. Well, I don't know. It really picked up towards the end.
I mean, yeah. I mean, again, like each of the episodes is, I think, like sure, each episode maybe has like a little bit of a lull.
It has an arc.
Maybe episode 2 has the most of one, but I still think like. By far overall, this season is shaping up to be one of our best.
Well, I hope that it's the best of the between the rows that we've released, because I would really hate to go backwards.
Yeah, it'd be a shame to
season 2.
But that is sometimes how it happens, right? You know, you have a really good series and you make a sequel and the sequel isn't quite as good, right?
Have you ever seen Halloween 4?
I haven't seen any of the Halloween movies, but it definitely, from what I have seen, it definitely seems like the series has lived too long.
Oh yeah, and they should have let it die after like the second movie.
Because the original movies are like from the 80s, right, or something like that.
Oh, something around there.
Like the 80s or 90s.
Yeah, like it's like that. And they're still making them like 30 years later, which is kind of hilarious, because I would love if that's kind of what happened to Between the Rows, but knowingly. Mm-hmm. Where it's like starts off and it's like, oh, the classic, the one that everyone likes, the one that was clearly the best, and then it like continues, and then it's like, this is the one where they got a little off script, this is the one where they're in space, this
see, although the one thing that does make me sad is like we have the original Between the Rows, which is a solid introduction to the series and the world, right? Mm-hmm. And then season 2, which I still think is good and solid, but it's definitely shaping up to, I think, to be the worst season we have so far. which
Oh,
which personally I feel bad about because part of I in my head part of the reason that it is that way is my fault, just because there's certain things that I
wow.
wish I did as a character.
No, I don't.
Um,
So here's the thing. I think that I think that season one and season two are equally good, but in different aspects. So like, I think that season one actually, I dislike season one more than season two.
oh, okay.
But that's a lot of my personal preference in terms of the type of content.
Mm-hmm.
So like, season one was way more dramatic
Mm-hmm.
in certain areas, and that was a lot because of the players that we had, and it was, but because of that, it was also messier. It was
Sure.
harder to
Okay.
clean
Yeah.
up. There was a lot of loose ends and just badly covered up seams that whenever I watch it, I'm just like, oh, how did I ever let that be a thing that got past me? And
Mm-hmm.
like, it also felt a lot more juvenile, but it's obviously still very good, and a lot of people really love it. But I think a lot of that is nostalgia,
Sure.
which is
Yeah.
a dangerous weapon.
Yeah.
But
And speaking of that, it's honestly in a weird way, it's weird to think that there would be nostalgia, but there totally is because at this point, it's
it's been
been
like
3 years.
3 years, dude.
It's been 3 years, which is
Also,
so crazy.
if it makes you feel better, let's not just left a comment. The last episode of season two is one of my favorite episodes of any TTRPG show.
Well, thank you, Let's
And
Not. I appreciate
Let's
that.
Not is the one who draws cool art, therefore, value
You know,
increases.
that's fair. That's fair. Well, and really, I'm not. I think part of the reason that I don't like season two as much, I think, is less because of whether or not the season is good or bad, or better or worse. I think they're just because the season itself more if is focuses on
Mm-hmm.
my character.
Well, yeah, it's the you
Um.
are your own worst critic
Uh
all the
huh.
time.
Yeah. Because you are your own critic, and then the whole season focuses on my character. There are certain things that I did do, and more specifically, certain things that I didn't do that I wish I did. That then makes my in my head, thinking back on it, like it puts it in a worse light for myself. Which I think if I went back and rewatched it, I think
Oh yeah.
and was a little more neutral to it, I think I'd enjoy it
I
more.
mean, there are plenty of things in
Um,
season two as well that, once again, that I'm like, oh man, I really wish that I would have put like more work into this or thought this through a little bit more, like loose ends and stuff. I've been really trying to clear those up for season three, and I think so
mhm.
far I've been doing a pretty good job of
I
it.
I 100%. And we can't really get into details right now because again, only episode one
Mm-hmm.
is released. But I've greatly enjoyed how many things are like seem to tie together to season one
Yeah,
and season two.
and it feels
You
almost
know,
purposeful,
uh-huh,
like I
uh-huh.
planned it.
It
And I'm
if
going to
well
say that I did, although most likely that's a lie.
and I'm really I love the ways that like and again I can only speak for my character, right? And so I just love seeing even just the connections that like especially season two and season three has for my character, the connections that are
Oh yeah.
there and kind of the hints and the teases and the kind of and then the speculation that comes like, okay, why are these connected? What does the connection fully mean?
Mm-hmm.
Where is this leading? Our party and specifically my character, right?
I mean, I
Um,
especially loved, and the viewers haven't seen it, but the start of the last episode we recorded, episode three,
mhm,
like
mhm.
I loved for your character, like I loved your character's bit especially,
Hmm.
even though it was just me narrating it, so it sounds
Oh,
super cocky.
I
But
loved. Well, and I actually, so far, episode three is by far my favorite, purely because of what you did at the beginning, because of how it affected my character for the entire rest of the
mm-hmm.
episode. Um,
So yeah, keep an eye out for episode three,
episode
y'all.
three
Episode three is
is
bumping.
solid. Like,
We also meet another cameo from season one.
that's right,
We
we do
do a pretty big cameo. Actually, technically two cameos, but one of them doesn't really make a whole
technically,
lot of
yeah,
impact.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm loving it.
It's it's so good. It's really really good. It's really exciting.
Also, I'm
Yeah.
going to tell you a little. Keep an eye out, all y'all, because I'm going to tell Drew. Get excited because I am going to be bringing in my favorite thing to do when I DM, good old fashioned real world lore, of like folklore and stuff like that for this episode we're going to record in 3.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking to Grant about it. I'm excited.
Yeah.
My favorite thing to do, player deaths. Here's the thing. So another thing that I've recently told to Grant. This season has probably the most stakes, but the least chance of characters dying because you guys are already higher level. So you have access to like better spells and spells that can revive people and stuff like that. You have more health. It's harder to kill you now than it ever has been before.
Mm-hmm.
Season 4, I am anticipating that for all the previous years before, I'm gonna make up for it. I expect the last episode of season 4 is to just have a one-on-one episode as the finale.
Well, I was gonna say, like, it in a weird way, it makes sense. Like, since as we kind of talk about, like, season 3, right, is supposed to be like is the finale of this arc, right, of this grand story arc, and so it makes sense. It's high stakes, but the story is supposed to, in the end, we're supposed to succeed, right? That's the whole point of the finale.
It would be real awkward if I just didn't finish the story here.
Right. You know, it's yeah, exactly. So the story is supposed to be like finished. There's supposed to be a resolution to the conflict. That's how a story works, right? So it totally makes sense then that, like, what, as you said, like, there are reasons as to like why maybe party death wouldn't necessarily happen as much this season. Which also, I mean, there's already been a lot of party death in the previous seasons of Between the Rows. Like, season 2, we lost 2 people. Season 1, we lost 2 people. Like, it's not like there's been no party death.
I've just been chilling at 2, but I've never killed anyone before the finale.
That is true.
Part of it is a guilt thing because I want people to be there to like dress up and
stuff.
Right,
to enjoy the whole episode.
But
you know, enjoy the whole season.
I don't care about, but like, people want to cosplay. Like, you get to cosplay your character and stuff. Season 4, we're cosplaying episode 1. So that way I can just murder you at the start. But
anyway, it does make sense though if season, you know, if we're supposed to have this 4-season story, and season 3 is the finale, and season 4 is supposed to be what starts the whole journey to begin with, it makes sense that everything would go horribly wrong, because that's why you have the other 3 seasons to fix things.
And you are absolutely right. I technically killed Bailey in episode 5, but I actually had already killed Bailey in episode 1.
Yes.
Bailey killed himself.
I was going to say, actually, Grant the player, killed his own character Bailey in episode 1 when he said that death set his name in the wind.
Yeah, and so in trade, I had to make sure that death was the one that killed him. So I can't let him die in episode 5 because he has a different role to play.
It basically, how do you 1, guarantee that you will get to play the whole season, and 2, guarantee that you will die?
Yes, you get both. Yeah, I've gotten pretty close, but yeah, no. Once we get to next year, assuming that the paper dungeon is still running and I am not dead, if we get to season 4 of Between the Rows, kid gloves are off.
All
right. You guys are playing grown adults. We'll be using a different. We're not going to be using 5e.
Are we now? Do you know? Are we going to go back to Vyson, or are we going to try something completely new?
It'll probably still be Vyson.
Okay.
But I am going to be kind of merging multiple RPGs together. So I'm kind of going to do it a bit this season as well. There will be some Vyson elements kind of smushed in there, and different ways of like interacting with objects and creatures. You haven't seen it as much yet. I honestly think that you will see it the most in this episode and in the finale. But once we get to season 4, I want to increase the strength of the characters, but not increase their survivability. So I want you to
Okay,
be able to
sure.
do more stuff and cause more harm and do more like fantastical things, but you're still going to have the like you take 3 wounds and you die kind
Right.
of situation.
Right.
So I'm very excited. I really hope that I wipe out like 2 of you by the second episode. Like I think that would just be a fun time for me. Um, but
Hey,
yeah,
I'll, you know what? I'll volunteer as tribute. You
dude,
know, if you need someone, I'm in. Put me in.
you think you get a choice?
That's fair.
Not in season 4. Maybe you can convince me in season 3. Like, hey, Aaron, I just want you to know I've got plans for this character, so it would be really nice if you didn't try so hard to kill him. And I'll be like, hey, that's good to hear, bud. And I like pat you on the back and give you like a cookie.
Yeah.
Season 4, you're like, hey, Aaron.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like season 4, I volunteer myself to die.
You're like, hey, Aaron, it would be really great if I like wouldn't die, and I'll be like, I'm already stabbing you. So it's a little late.
It's
you spawned in with a knife.
Yeah, my character just got stabbed through the chest, and I just say, hey, Aaron, can you not kill my guy? He's like, too late, dude. He's already dead.
Dude, literally, I'm gonna start season 4, and I'm just gonna go. So, you're all bleeding out.
Yeah, it's the you pick up with the party and like half of them are dead and you're like, so you may be wondering how we got here.
I'm gonna just start. I'm gonna say, all right, I'm gonna number you 1 to 4. And I'm just gonna roll a d4, and I'm like, oh, sorry, number 2, you're gone. You're out. You're out this season. It was great having you on the show. Thank you very much.
Thank you
right,
for being here.
Odd or even. I'm just gonna ask odd or even for every single one that they get wrong per person. I'm just gonna roll a die and kill someone. Yeah, absolutely. You are absolutely right. This is REXU Calamity. This is where we kill everyone and only the Birdman survives.
Only.
So one of you gets to choose who's the Arakakra, because you're the one who's making it out.
I mean, in theory, it has to be the Pattersons, right?
Yeah, it's got to be the Patterson.
What
if Grant doesn't play the Patterson? How funny is that?
That would be interesting. Actually,
what if it's like Lydia?
If Lydia played the Patterson,
yeah, Lydia plays the Patterson.
See, she might. Well, I guess I
what
see.
If you
it depends.
all play Pattersons?
I mean, if we all play Pattersons, then there's a much more likely chance that a Patterson survives.
Yeah, well, then it's also, here's the thing, it also operates in the inverse though, because now it removes the ability for you all to know which one of you lives. If it's just like all of you are playing I kind of love that. Because they had loads of kids.
Oh, I mean, yeah, and you got aunts and uncles, cousins, 100%, thrice removed.
I would love if season 4 was just Oops All Pattersons.
Oops All Pattersons.
Yeah.
Right. That's the name of episode 1.
That's the actual Oops All Pattersons episode 1. What was the name of the episode that you wrote for this season? Or oh god, I think it was Grant. Hold on, I need to pull it up. It made me kind of sad. Not like actually, but I like read it. Oh, what is it? Oh man. Hold on. I gotta find this. Episode 1, Between the Rows, Sins of the Father, parentheses, spooky, in all caps. I'm sitting here, I'm like, screw you, Grant. But, I think he had some different, like, description or something for the stream. I can't tell you. He added tags, one of which is permadeath, which I am a big fan of that one.
I thought it was weird because so I had to work while the stream was happening, so I really only was there for like the very, very beginning. I got to see like at the start of it. Mm-hmm. But for I don't know if I'm just crazy if it did happen, but like when it gave me the notification like, hey, the paper dungeon is live, and it showed me like the title of like the stream, it was something really kind of dumb and stupid and like just kind of silly. and then I
I
clicked
think
on
I
it,
saw that too.
and then it was different than what it was. I'm just like, what?
I thought it was something like scary episode or
Yeah,
something like
it
that.
was like, yeah, it was like spooky episode, between the rows, sins of the father or something like that.
Yeah, it was
And
like the episode name was something like scary things are happening between the rows, sins of the father.
yeah, it was just like, and I'm just like, what? This is not okay. Whatever. And then I clicked on it. I'm like, oh no, the title's different than that. What the heck was the other thing?
I have
But
no idea,
anyway,
but yeah, it was on my Streamlabs, so I don't remember what it said, but it was something dumb.
yeah.
Um,
But
but hey gang, it's been 2 hours.
it
I
has
have
been.
to prep for the episode tonight, so I'm gonna probably call it good to go. First of all, Drew, congratulations on moving into a room that is
Yes,
a
thank you.
room.
That is a room. It's my own room.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's great.
Thank you everyone for stopping by. I have my last minute plugs. I'm gonna run through them real fast. We have social media: TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Those are great. We have a website, www.thepaperdungeon.com. Also great. On it is a merch store where you can buy merch that has our logo and other things on it. Speaking of merch stores, lydiacorinne.com also is a merch store that you can go to. Lydia makes all of our overlays, all of our character art, pretty much anything that you see that art-wise here, Lydia does it. And it's great and awesome. You can go there to buy her art that she's already made on t-shirts, shorter t-shirts, crop tops, and pillows, as well as commission her for custom art of your characters or other things that you like. And that's great, and she does a very good job. Other than that, if you want to support us, the Paper Dungeon, we have Streamlabs donation, we have Ko-Fi, we have Patreon. The Patreon will be picking up steam. I have a lot of ideas. We're going to have little short duo shots on there that are going to be super awesome. Speaking of those duo shots, those will eventually be released only to subscribers as well as the patrons. On our Discord. Our Discord is really great. We have an excellent community. You can go there to see Let's Not's incredible artwork and all the artwork that is sent to us. And you can talk with us. You can talk with other Dungeoneers. All sorts of fun things like that. They're a great community. They're super nice. And sometimes we even like play games and stuff in there. Other than that, I don't think I have any more plugs. Oh, I do have one more. I'm a liar. For those of you watching, I, along with a group of people that are very awesome, created a little add-on similar to Von Richten's guide to Ravenloft. It is called the Mist Manuscripts. It is on DM's Guild. Search that up. Currently, we've had like 180 some downloads. It is pay what you want. But any proceeds go directly to, well, technically directly. Any proceeds will go to support Jasper's Game Day, which is a charity focused on supporting like suicide prevention and help and stuff like that. It's a really awesome charity. Honestly, what we recommend, because on DM's Guild, 50% of whatever you pay goes to WotC. The recommended pay what you want is $1.50, and then go actually donate to Jasper's Game Day, so that way they get the whole dollar to the dollar that you're spending. Whatever you feel like donating, whatever you would normally pay if you wanted to pay for this, send it directly to Jasper's Game Day. And we've raised somewhere around like $86 so far, and those proceeds will go to it from now until Halloween. Although I believe that we will then turn it directly to Jasper's Game Day. So like there's never a point in time where we'll be making any money off of this. All of it will go to support Jasper's Game Day. But from now until that's what it is. From now until Halloween, some of us will be price matching. So if y'all donate $100, like if we end up with $200 towards Jasper's Game Day, then we will be matching that multiple members of the group, so it will turn into $400 and then $600 because another person matches the $200, and so we'll be supporting that best that we can. So check that out. I think that it turned out really great. There's a lot of cool stuff in there. There's a dark domain that's just the Wild West. There's one that's just filled with bug people. Mine is actually based on the Shadowfell that we have in the main campaign. So if you've seen that and you were like, yo, I want to play with that, you can. And worst comes to worst, just go check it out. You can even pay $0 if that's what you would like to do. But still go support Jasper's Game Day because it's really good. That's for real, all my announcements. I don't have anything else. Drew, do you have anything that you want to cover? No pressure.
If you're joining us live or afterwards, thank you for being here. It's been a blast. Aaron, thank you for having me, as per usual. It was a lot of fun.
I am so thankful that you were here because I got to talk about stuff for so much longer than I normally would have.
Oh, I mean, yeah. And I always do enjoy this season of just because between the Monday show and the Wednesday show, there's a lot for us to talk about, a lot of cool things that we can discuss.
You're also one of the
few things we can unpack
that would engage with me about the merit for like an hour and a half. So thank you for that.
We did talk about that for a while.
Oh man, it was great. But thank you everyone for showing up. The only thing that I have left to say while I begin towards the switching screens is good luck and Godspeed, everyone. We will see you all next week on Thursday, 1:30 p.m. CST. We will be here, and so should you.